The preset is taking forever to load. No strings, but a key switch. They put it on like sustained legatos or something. I'm not liking the sound of it at all.
No one in the right mind would give you just 1 hour to do a trailer track. Hello, and my name is Karu, Composer-in-Chief of Miss Cyru's Orchestral Forces, responsible for this video, right here. So Amphibia is a Disney television animated show created by Matt Braley. This show is fantastic. I absolutely love this show to death. It's among the ranks of like Gravity Falls and The Owl House. I really love those shows. But like the one thing that really stands out is in that specific area of its soundtrack. Each character has their own motif. It's quite fantastic. TJ Hill just did an absolutely outstanding job on the soundtrack, and it's just amazing. I absolutely adore it. But I'm not here to do an in-depth analysis into Amphibia and the show's soundtrack itself.
I'm here to do a little challenge.
So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be making a trailer orchestral track, or orchestration, of Anne's theme from the show. So what I'm going to do is going to make 3 versions of this trailer track. I will be allocating 1 hour worth of production time into making the first one, 20 minutes worth of production time into the second one, and then on the third track, I will only allocate myself 5 minutes worth of production time. I have no idea how this is going to go, because I've never done something like this before, yet I am quite excited to do this, and this is also technically the first video of this new channel, Life of Karu. So if you do wish to stay updated with the uploads on this channel, please do consider subscribing and turning on your notification, but of course, that is completely optional. Also, one other thing is that I am going to be using one of my orchestration presets where all the instruments are already loaded up. That'll allow us to save some time, and the production time that I'm only allocating is worth for the actual composition, and maybe some mixing if I'm feeling a bit fancy.
One last thing. I want you to meet Raiko. She will help in the explanation and giving some extra info about everything so everyone can learn a thing or two from this absurd video at least. I'm recording this late because I forgot to introduce her in the video, so yeah, I really hope she doesn't kill me.
So without further ado, let us begin this composition challenge.
So technically we have 1 hour. I have until 4 p.m. to finish this. So what we're going to do is, I'm not really going to look at much references since I've listened to Anne's theme a million times at this point. We're going to start off with like since it's like a trailer track, we have to like do it slowly. So we'll have to get the metronome out first, or the tempo tapper. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, what does like trailers start with? Normally it starts with like the like that thump thing, like the boom. I do have some trailer thumps, or like trailer stuff, right? The sub hits. That'll do. And then what we're gonna do next is that the ideas are flowing in now. I actually started recording. I have no idea what I needed to do, but then I heard that thump and I was like, oh, okay. I know what we're going for. Let's go to the tonal percussion section. Labs has this fantastic soft piano that I love using, and like Calamity Music loves using as well. And it is absolutely fantastic. Labs, my beloved soft piano. Add that reverberation a little bit. That's what we're talking about. Maybe a C major chord. And then strum it a little bit for that added realism. And then we're gonna add like a little bit like kind of like plays the theme a little, because in some of the trailers, especially like recent like blockbuster films with like a specific theme or motif, they normally kind of play the piano first with like ambient piano, lots of reverb, and then they have a little bit of like the theme playing, just a little bit of the theme, not full blown, especially on like the higher registers of it. I completely forgot that the articulation that I need to use for the first string is soft. Sustained soft is an articulation available in Berlin Symphonic Strings, which is one of my favorite string libraries due to its like massive and cinematic vibe to it, I guess that's the term. So I'm just gonna put a key switch here to put it at sustained soft. And I have an automation clip here that adjusts the velocity or modulation of the strings. Modulation or velocity is just basically how, if I'm using the word correctly, how hard the instrument is played technically. So the higher the modulation or velocity, the more intense it's played. So if you can see an example here, if I take the violin, the first violins, and increase it here to make it go up its modulation, like a riser almost. Kind of an interesting idea with like the second violins, have like a little bit of like add a little bit of tension to like that build up thump. We're gonna add a little something called trills, and I think that's kind of like one of my favorite articulations. It adds a lot of tension. Sometimes it runs, sometimes it's just one just long line trilled note. So we got the first violins playing just a sustained soft, just to make it more consistent, but there's this like little bit of tension building up to that thump with the second violins playing that same note but on a different, or playing it differently, which is a trill. And we're gonna do the same thing but not as intense, because the trills tend to be rather unstable, because that's the point of the trills. Now let's try to add some like some lower registers. I won't go full lower register yet. I feel as if like we want to hold back a little bit until we reach to like the main parts of the trailer. We're gonna put a key switch on sustain legatos now, so we got a nice legato slide for each of the notes. Legato is basically the like that transition between the notes. Okay, now let's continue that piano part, because I'm really liking the sound, the ambient sound of the first part. Also, one last thing, don't be an idiot like me. Remember to save your work. Did I spell Sashinarsi correctly? I don't know, and I probably don't care at this point. I just think it's just the funny names. Like, they just combined all the names together, and I think that's pretty funny. I don't know what the context is behind it, but so I made this piano part here at the next part. Like, I would almost call it like using it like an inverted seventh chord. Added a little bit of like that nostalgic factor if you use it like a, because without the without like this G right here, you know, I mean, it sounds alright, but with that added G. It's rather small, but I do believe that it adds that additional
oomph to it, you know?
Next I added these strings parts, which added more harmonics to the that second part of the piano as well, along with the cello. So we added like the continued bass of that part as well, and I think it works well. You notice that we've made it rise around the end. That's what we're gonna do with like... What's the word? That's what we're gonna do with the downbeat. Is where like the intensity begins. That's where like the percussions start coming in, like the string spiccatos. Let's add a riser at the start of the thing, by the way, just to make it sound better. I'm gonna add another sub hit as well, this one. But there's too much high frequencies. I just want the low end. It goes like boom. That's what I want. So technically, I'm gonna link this up to a mixer track, preferably something that's not taken up yet by the 66 mixer tracks. It's already taken up. So you go with track number 67. Congratulations, sub hit. Okay, next we're gonna put like something simple. Fruity Love Filter will do, I think, but because I'm too lazy to put it into the parametric and we're running out of time, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna get the Fruity Love. Where the hell is the Fruity Love? We're just gonna low the cut here. So it should There we go. That's what we're talking about. You know what? Let's add a little bit of parametric so we just boost the low end a little bit. Just to, like boost a little bit. Just attenuate some of like the higher frequencies as well. Just a little bit here. I'm not using EQ correctly. I'm so sorry to my mixing professor. Although I will lower some of like the super low end because the super low end is a little bit unhealthy for stuff. There we go. Just that. That works. Okay, now let's listen to what we got so far. And that is where the epic stuff begins. So now that we spent almost like 26 minutes on that, and we only got a few, like 40 minutes left. So we got 35 minutes left actually.
Which is even worse.
We gotta rush a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with like the low strings now. So percussion is not complete without a little bit of a timpani, so we're gonna have a timpani roll rising up to like the thing. By the way, my timpani ensemble is from Metropolis Arc 3, absolutely fantastic orchestra for like a lot of rhythmic focused compositions. Absolutely, the orchestral tools are just the best. Oh, I got jump scared by a timpani in my own DAW. Okay, now I added a little bit of like string spiccatos now. What trailer is complete without, of course, some blaring brass? So right now I'm going to add some brass now. I want to duplicate some of like the double bass notes to the French horns. I think trombones, sorry. Trombones. I don't want to trigger any action composers watching this video. One last thing, don't forget to make your brass sections kind of breathe a little bit. Kind of like one of the reasons where I actually want the brass players to breathe is because I actually leave some space before the next note, so it's like a little bit of silence from the brass section, and that makes once the brass come back sound even more powerful. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm planning on like a little bit of like chords. Add a little bit of like a French horn part here. More French horns, the better. Hans Zimmer. Probably not. Okay, now I added a bit more brass to the brass section because it's the brass section. The brass section needs brass. "20 minutes left." Okay, let's add that percussion. Since that we're running low on time, I'm just going to stick with the Armageddon preset of Damage 2, because every composer who's made a trailer has probably used Damage 2's Armageddon ensemble. Woo! Dang, that I always love the sound of Damage 2. Get the downbeats first. So we're gonna do full string ensemble now because we're out of time and I can't really individually compose each like section. I have to unfortunately use the ensemble. Okay, after those like full string ensembles, we're gonna add a little bit of like percussion. Now we're gonna duplicate the bass for like the main part, but the main difference is that I'm gonna add a little bit more dissonance in the bass, like using a lot of accidental notes. These are notes that are not part of the scale. This is add like more tension to like this part of the track, because this part of the track is kind of like the finale now. It's supposed to be like super epic, super big, blockbuster cinematic, so that's what we're trying to do here. Okay, now let's add the melody itself, like the main motif of Anne's theme. Speed running, because I'm running out of time. I have like 5 minutes left. Alright, this is not complete. Last thing that we need to do is, like, aside from a little bit of mixing, is a little bit of like, well, choir. Okay, so we're almost done here. We got a few minutes left on the clock, and the last thing that we need to do is like probably just mix it a little bit, just a little bit, because we don't have enough time to properly mix this. Just add a bit of reverb to like choir, maybe a bit of OTT. Sound for reverb. I kind of want to add like counter melody to like the horns as well. And now we have our finished product. 1 hour, there's just 1 hour of work. I didn't really do proper mixing or anything, so I don't really know what else to add because we're out of time as well, so I guess it's the moment of truth. We just listen to our final piece. Okay, I'll be honest, it sounds good for what it is. I'm actually happy how it turned out. Although, like, well, I only had 1 hour to do this, so for what it is, I am pretty happy how it turned out. Alright, now, the next part is to do the same thing. We're gonna make a trailer track, but we only got 20 minutes to do it. So I have 20 minutes to do this. I think it's gonna sound like crap, but that's the challenge, is to try to get something done and then make it sound coherent. That's what we're trying to do. We're gonna start with, we're gonna immediately start with like the thump, or like a piano. Oh god. Like a solo violin. Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so the solo violin sounds kind of nice, actually. Let's try to layer that with like a little bit of like a solo cello, you know. Like, this is a trailer, we need to make it slightly more ambient, add some environment to it, because remember, it's focused, but don't forget, this is still a blockbuster, so I'm gonna add a bit of like reverb to that. Sanford reverb. Let's add a harp. I don't know what a harp's gonna sound like here. Let's see what a harp sounds like. I like it. It's actually not bad. Let's add some pads or something ambient. Sound of the Lichterfelder, Leichterfelder Children's Choir. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm really sorry. Leichterfelder. By the way, this choir is part of like Metropolis Arc 2, so we've been kind of using Arc 1, 2, and 3 because it's that good. Finding some trailer hits. We're heading straight to like the big climax already, since it's only 20 minutes. So let's think of this as like not like an official trailer, more like a teaser trailer type of deal. Like it's much shorter, more concise compared to like the official long trailer type of deal. So that's what we're trying to do here. So a really cool trick that you could do with like the risers and the trailer hits is you could do something like this where you cut them up. It gives that repeating trailer hit riser thing that before like the downbeat. It basically sounds like this. We're gonna add some brass now because we're on out of time. Get them brass section. Added these short brass sustain lines that just kind of like cuts off halfway, and then it's gonna go full on, all out type of deal around the second part of this climax. Let's add some strings now. Come on, running out of time. Okay, let's add like a tonal percussive instrument, something high, preferably like a celeste, maybe? Let's try a celeste. Okay, tonal percussion time. Okay, finally, let's just add the one last melody for the brass section in that last part because we're out of time now. We just got like a minute and a half left, so we gotta rush a little bit, my friends. Give me another like 30 seconds or something. I swear. This is gonna sound all right. I guess. Probably not. Who knows? All right, time's up. It's been 20 minutes and. So far, of course, less time. I couldn't really work on this as much, so let's just listen to what we've made so far. We got something at least. I mean, it's a trailer track that, I mean, for 20 minutes, I guess it's all right. Of course, we could have done some mixing, some actual proper effort without rushing anything. Of course, there's only, 20 minutes worth of production time, so I guess it's all right. So the important thing is that we managed to get something done within 20 minutes, which sounds somewhat coherent, and I'm happy with that. Next up is the probably the worst part. We need 5 minutes to work on the next track. Bum, 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 bum. I'm waiting for Marcy's journal. Alright, timer starts now. Alright, so we have 5 minutes to do this, so I am so burnt out from Anne's theme right now. Low strings, but a key switch and put it on like sustained legatos or something. Okay, the bass is done. High strings, the melody. Okay, the lead melody is complete. Let's add some harmonics and this full strings. I'm not liking the sound of it at all, but I have no choice. I have no choice but to like cut on time. I have to like layer this from like the full brass section. Normally I'd make a unique version for the brass, but no, I'm just gonna like copy paste the strings because we don't have time at all. Come on, just rush, just copy paste everything onto the French horns. Too high register. Calm down, frickin'. Or Metropolis Arc 1. Oh my god. Get the percussion. Hurry up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Copy paste. It's not on the grid. Okay. We're out of time. That's been 5 minutes. This is what we've done within those 5 minutes worth of production time. And here we go. Let's be honest, it's just incoherent, full blast friggin' instruments without any coherent thoughts invoked within it. But for 5 minutes, it took us 5 minutes to do that. I guess it works out. You know, it's passable for 5 minutes, but you know, if like you're trying to take stuff seriously, this is not gonna really cut it. But for 5 minutes, that was fun. That was fun. I'm happy with what we've done in like 5 minutes. Within a 5 minutes, it made me angrier than the entirety of the 1 hour or the 20-minute variants that we did. I did have a lot of fun working on this. It's quite a nice challenge, and it's something that I actually kind of like recommend to like other like composers too. Like just get something, try to make something out of it, like a musical piece, a composition, and then try to do one in like 1 hour, in 20 minutes, and then like 5 minutes, see where it gets to. It's really up to the subjective tastes of each composer, because each composer or like producer or musician out there has their unique takes, their unique ways of production in terms of how they manifest musical pieces such as this. I actually didn't save this one because we were in a rush. Oh well, I'm actually going to save this. It's not like that I'm ever going to open it again.
No one in the right mind would give you just 1 hour to do a trailer track. The amount of time that they're going to allocate is the amount of quality that they're going to get. The less time that they're allocated, the less quality that the final product will be. When it comes to like compositions like this, most of the time it's best to just take your time and take breaks a lot of the time, a lot of breaks. You gotta rest your ears a little bit because your ears, I got a Discord message, because your ears will allow to like realign or recalibrate themselves to hear more of the overall track itself. The more you listen to something without like taking a break, the more that your brain is going to perceive the more insignificant nitpicks of the composition itself. So that's why I really always recommend just taking breaks. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this first video of the channel. And remember, immerse, take heart, inspire.